day or not.
That's true.
Okay, so I got my setup with my chair. And you all know the blanket can go down or on the chair or on the floor. And I got my two blocks and something that will make it easy to slide your feet. All right, here we go. All right, let's start with breathing. My favorite thing to do. So first, I'm just noticing my breath is a little agitated from, I don't know what I was doing, bouncing up and down, and it's really hot in here. So let's just take a moment to let the breath settle. Maybe you all are already have your breath nice and calm. And then notice where the body moves when you breathe. Does your belly move more or the chest? Lower belly, lower chest, upper chest, just exactly what's happening when you're just taking some nice relaxed breaths. And so each of us has a habit of how we pull the breath in. It's going to move the diaphragm in a particular way that moves our body in a particular way. And we'll call that this well-worn path. And everybody's well-worn path makes you more susceptible to particular issues or ailments of the body. So it's important that you change up your breath. You want to stretch that diaphragm in different ways than your habitual well-worn path. So whichever place you discover that is your nice, easeful breath, you're going to try to avoid that pathway. And so normally we talk about by location, the lower belly, the upper belly, lower ribs, mid ribs, upper ribs, back of the body, sides of the body, one side more than the other, all kinds of ways you can pull the breath in and move your body. And they will stretch the diaphragm and the other breathing muscles in a new way from your habit. And so whenever you are calm and ready to play with the breath, this is the my advice to you is to change up move away from your habitual pattern, stretch it any other way. And let's just say we put that on a spectrum. So on one end of the spectrum is your super easy, well-worn pathway. And the other end of the spectrum are ways that you're trying to breathe that make it very frustrating or anxious or just too difficult. You can't access that. And that tends to be up in the upper lungs and the very lower belly and in the back body. So when you're having a bad day, a stressful time, avoid the very difficult breath patterns for you. And maybe you don't have to do the super easy one, but come in a little bit. Let's see if I can get him to sit down. Come on, you have to lie down. Lie down. That's a good boy. Go down. All right, you're going to be in my way pretty soon, but that's okay for now. And when you're having that super, super bad day, then you are only going to try to remember to breathe and just breathe the very easeful breaths. Don't worry about the breath pattern and all that. Just breathe and try to get yourself calm on those stressful days. So that's the general advice for working with your breath. And there are hundreds of different breaths in yoga. So just start to play with them. And the more open your diaphragm is and the other breathing muscles, which is your belly and the muscles between the rib cage, the back muscles, chest muscles, there's a lot of muscles involved in ability to do these different breath locations. And so the more pliable, let's say, or more resilient those are, and the more your neurons can fire off to particular muscles and make them do what you're asking them to do, the easier every one of these breaths is going to be on that whole spectrum. So that's what you want to just sort of start to check off. Breath after breath after breath after breath starts to get easier and easier and easier the more you practice them. And just taking, a minute, 2 minutes a day to practice. When you're waiting at a red light, practice breathing. When you first get up in the morning, throw your legs off the side of the bed and take 30 seconds or a minute just to see where your breath is, where your easeful breath is, and then another 30 seconds or a minute to move it to a different place. Do that every morning. Be such a great way to start the day, just playing with your breath. And think of it like that, as playing with the breath, not work. All right, next we'll add movement to the breath. So whatever breath you're choosing, and when we do more difficult movements for you, you're going to slide toward your more easeful breath. And whenever you can, take one of these other breath patterns, that's advisable. And then the big advice during movement is to exhale from the belly, especially when we're bending forward or bringing the knee to chest. When you're compressing the belly, that you should exhale the breath out of that area, exhale from the belly, so that there's no pressure on the pelvic floor. If you'd have a full inhale in your belly and you're inhaling when you bend forward, puts pressure on the pelvic floor, weakening the pelvic floor, and of course we don't want that. Especially as we age, the pelvic floor, well, everything tends to get weaker, so you want to keep that pelvic floor strong. All right, so let's bring some movement in with the breath. On the inhale, let the arms move in any range of motion comfortable for you, kind of moving out away from the body when you inhale and back in towards the body when you exhale. The limbs can go as straight as they're willing to go for you today. I usually start with them a little bit bent, and then as I continue, I get the arms a little bigger range of motion and or straighten the limbs more, or both. And so don't move the arms if the shoulder is saying, no, I don't want to do that. And you don't do that. You just stay in your comfort zone, in your current capacity. Let's do one more. And then just let the hands rest on your lap. We're going to do the head and neck area. So on the exhale, let the head look down, and don't force the head or neck down, just your current nice easeful range of motion. And the head's going to go up just beyond the horizon line. Exhale, looking down. Don't force the chin toward the chest, but that's the direction the chin is moving. So you don't want to overstretch the back of the neck, especially these days when we're all using these devices with that back neck overstretched all the time, all day long, practically. Exhale, looking down, and then just bring the head to neutral. We're going to go side to side, looking or twisting the head to one side. Try to keep the shoulders steady, the shoulders staying where they are. Only the head turns. And again, just in your current range of motion that's comfortable for you. So often somebody's one side on somebody's neck may bother them to turn that way. Don't turn that way. Just keep going to the one side that feels good, and only maybe just a tiny bit to the other direction. All right, and then ear to shoulder, laterals with the head. And again, start real small, just barely tipping the head, just a little nod to the left and nod to the right. And you can go further, side to side, as comfortable for you. All right. Now we'll add the whole body in this. So not just the head and neck moving, but the rest of the spine is going to follow. So we'll start back over with the head looking down, and that stretches the back of the neck. So let the whole back body stretch. You can round your spine. You can bring your hands forward over the knees. So you're kind of stretching the back body. and then into the back bend. And the head can be added if you like, or just focus on the torso. A couple more like that. I have to show you all how my dog can do yoga. Curry, stand up, stand up. Do yoga. No, that's going down. You have to stand up. Now do yoga. That's a good boy. Okay, go over here and lie down. Go on, lie down. Good boy. All right, and then just bringing it to neutral. And we'll take a twist. You can add the arms if you like. If your shoulders are bothering you, don't add the arms. So I'll add arms in multiple poses, but you can just keep your hands down. Maybe just hands to your hips. Exhale to one side, inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale to center. And repeat. Just crossing one arm over to the opposite leg. The other hand goes back anywhere, back behind you. Let's go one more time each side. Remember, you start with less movement, and then as your body gets more open, you can go a little bit deeper and just rest the arms down. We'll go into laterals. If you're using blocks, you can have your blocks at the ready on each side. Otherwise, you can just use your chair leg or keep your hands on your hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, over to one side. These are those 6 directions of the spine that is really good to do every day. And I have this on a handout. If you would like this, you can email me and I'll be happy to send you a handout. Keep going. Exhale over. Inhale to center. Exhaling over. Inhale to center. You can, that hand can slide down the leg of the chair, or if you are using blocks, or just keeping your hands at your hips, your choice. All right, let's come back to neutral. So those are the 6 directions: the forward bend, back bend, twist left, twist right, lateral left, lateral right. Are the 6 directions, kind of 3 pairs of movement. And let's come down to the legs now. So whatever you're going to use to slide your feet on the floor. So I've got furniture sliders. I'm on carpet. You can use paper plates on carpet, or sometimes the foot slides without the need for anything. If you're on a hardwood surface, put a towel down, or maybe if you have your socks on, that they'll slide easily on that. Or the blanket can be used under your feet. Let's start with just one foot on your sliding apparatus, and stretch the leg out and in. So here, when something's moving out away from the body, that's going to be your inhale. When it comes back in, it's an exhale. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale back in. Some of the time you can have the heel down and flexing the foot. I like that one because it stretches the back of my calf, which tends to be tight. Some of the time you can keep the toes down and stretch across the top of the ankle. And some folks have tight ankles, like that one better. So you can mix it up and do some of each, or if you're like me and you like that calf stretch more, you can stick with that. Let's do one more. And we'll switch to the other side. Out and in. Remember, when something's going out away from the core of your body, that's going to be an inhale. When it comes back in, it's an exhale. And feel free to stretch across the top of the ankle and or the calf, same as we did on the other side. All right, let's go back to the first side. And instead of just going straight out and back in, we're going to make angles out to the side, like spokes of a bicycle. And again, some of the time you can point, some of the time you can flex. Take the leg out toward the side, spoke by spoke. as comfortable for you, getting into the rotators in the hip and into that inner thigh. And then pick one of those spokes, not the widest one, but somewhere in the middle, and hold right there and give it a point and a flex. And circle the ankle around a couple of times in one direction, a couple of times in the other. And then exhale back in and work your way back up to the top. All right, and then switch it over to the other side. And do the same thing over there. Just taking that leg out as far out to the side as comfortable for you, as wide an angle as comfortable for you. All right, and then bring it back in a little bit, maybe sort of in the mid-range there, and we'll take a moment to keep the heel down and point and flex. And ankle circles. You do roughly 2 of each. 2 circles in one direction, 2 in the other, and 2 point and flexes. And then work your way back up to the top. All right. So that kind of gives us a head to toe workout, a little just warming up the major joints. We're going to take a sun salute pieces now, and then we'll put it all together. So one of the poses in the sun salute is a lunge. There's all kinds of variations. You can just lift the heel up. You can raise the whole foot up. You can use your hands to raise the foot up, and you can stretch the leg out. So those are all sort of step by step, going progressively more difficult. Here they are on the other side. Heel up, the whole foot up with or without your hands, using the hands if you like, and stretching the leg out. So those are variations of a lunge. And I generally will kick my leg out, but you can do any of those variations. And another pose in the sun salute is downward dog. And to do downward facing dog in a chair, there's 2 variations we'll do. One is to stretch both legs out and put your hands on the chair behind you and push into the chair as though to lift your hips up. So that's an arm strengthening variation. And the other variation is to go for the shoulder stretch. Your legs can stay out or bend. I generally keep them bent in the sun salute because that's where my legs are positioned in the pose preceding this variation. So a shoulder stretch is any shoulder stretch for you. You could just squeeze your shoulder blades together and kind of wing your elbows back, or you could stretch your arms up and take your arms sort of back behind you. Any shoulder stretch for you. You can just put your hands behind your head and work your elbows out wide, whatever shoulder stretch you like. So downward dog on a mat is from your hands and knees, you lift your hips up, and so the body goes in the pike position. So there's some arm strength required. And so that's why we do this one. And there's also, the shoulders need to be open. So when we do both variations. And let's see, what else is in the sun salute? Oh, a back bend. So for the back bend, you can bend your knees. And so this comes in the sun salute sequence. It's going to come right after downward dog and pushing into the chair back. So you can bend your knees and just take a back bend from there. Head going up only as comfortable for you in your neck. All right, let's put them all together. The beginning pieces we'll do first just as a warm-up, and then we'll start to add on more of the sun salute. So the beginning pieces this is our start position. And on the inhale, take the arms up as comfortable for you, your range of motion. And the exhale is a forward bend. So you can just rest your elbows on your thighs, bending forward slightly, or you can take your hands down your legs toward the floor in a deeper forward bend. Remember, this needs to be an exhale from the belly. So you don't want to breathe into your belly and have pressure on that pelvic floor. So this is your exhale. And then inhale and come on back up. Let's take the arms all the way up and exhale back down. All right, so those are the first 3 poses of sun salute. This is position 1. Position 2 is the arms up. Position 3 is a forward fold of any kind. And we'll reverse back through that from 3 to 2 and back to position 1. And there's only 6 positions in the sun salute, so the other 3 are the lunge, the down dog, and the back bend, which I'm going to call up dog. So we'll add those on. So the sun salute is 6 positions. Add my thumb in there. And you go through them: position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 5, position 6 is your back bend. And then you reverse back through, and you're going to hit that down dog again. So we hit position 5 twice. Once will be the arm strengthener, and the second time will be the shoulder stretch. Then you're going to hit the lunge twice, and you're just going to alternate which leg you lunged on. And then the forward bend, arms up, and the back to start, position 3, 2, and 1 that we just did. Ready? And I just want to say I also have this on a handout. If you'd like a handout of the sun salute, let me know. So now that's 3 things you could email me about: the Zoom link instead of going through Eventbrite, and 2 handouts. So email me if you want all of those or any of those. All right, let's put our sun salute into play. Position 1, exhale. Position 2, inhale. Position 3, exhale, fold over your legs. A lunge, so you can bring one leg with you when you come up and lunge one of your legs. And then we'll go into downward dog, stretch both legs out, hands back behind you. We're going to do the arm strengthening variation. Push into the chair as though to lift your hips up. They may or may not come out of the chair, it doesn't matter. And then a back bend. I like to bend my knees, but you can keep them straight if you like. Take a back bend. And then come back to downward dog with the shoulder opener. I'm going to lunge the other leg. And then we're going to fold over the legs, position 3, exhale. All the way up for position 2. That's an inhale, and back to start on the exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, over you go. Bring one leg with you. I change which leg I bring up with me. Lunging, downward dog. Both legs out, push into the chair. A back bend, up dog. And downward dog with shoulder opening variation. Lunge your other leg. Fold over your legs, exhale from your belly. Inhale all the way up, arms up. And back to start. All right, that's sun salute. That's also a nice thing to do every day. If you do those 2 things every day, you'll be doing yourself a big favor. The 6 directions of the spine and the sun salute. And if you're up for it, you can do some more. So we're going to turn to the side of the chair, and you can be at the angle at the corner of the chair, or turn all the way to the side. And the foot is going to be on the slider, the foot that's closest to your screen. Put that foot on whatever you're sliding on. And before we did the spokes and the sort of the front half of our bicycle wheel. So now we're going to pick it up where we left off and move the leg going toward the back spokes. So out to the side, and then turning your foot any way you like so it protects your knee. Inhale as the leg goes out, exhale when it comes back in. And even stretching the foot back behind you. So be at the edge of your chair so your leg drops down in front of your chair seat here, and try to get that knee back behind your hip. So the leg goes back, you get a nice stretch through the hip flexors. These guys get tight from sitting all day, so you want to try to stretch that back. And if comfortable, stretch it back and keep it back there for an extra breath or so. Just hold right there. And then go ahead and bend, and let's bring those spokes back in, work your way back to the front. getting all those hip rotators. So the hip rotators also kind of atrophy as we get older because we generally don't do all these kinds of movements in a day. Generally, we're just moving the leg in the chair, leg standing, walking, and the leg is just moving like this. So you want to try to stretch that leg out, and open up these hip rotators a little. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. So walk it around. Again, that foot that's closest to the screen is going to be on your sliding apparatus, and sit at the edge of the chair so that your leg can drop down in front of the chair. All right, let's start with the spokes up toward the front and then continuing out to the side and working your way on the back end of the spokes, back half of the bicycle wheel. And right in front and stretching through that front of the thigh there, right up by the hip. Sometimes if you lean forward a little bit, it can make you the ability to stretch that leg back a little bit better. And then once you stretch it back, see if you can bring your torso back upright, and that will deepen the stretch. If it's too deep, then keep leaning forward. You don't want it to go into your back. So if you feel any compression in the back, just keep leaning forward. All right, so let's come back to face. Oh no, we got to work our way back up. Let's work our way back up. Take those spokes back, kind of reversing how we got into it. And then come to face forward. We're going to put a little cat-cow in here. So that's that rounded spine and a little back bend. A couple more like that. All right, and then turn to the side again. Have your sliding apparatus handy. Front, the leg that's toward the front or toward the screen is on that. That's actually going to become the back leg, not the front leg. And then just pick one of those spokes toward the back half, as far back as comfortable for you. And turn toward the other knee or front leg. Hands to that leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, a little lean forward over the leg. Inhale, come on back up, arms up. This is warrior one. We're going to turn sideways, turn toward your screen, take your arms out wide, warrior two. Pause right here, and then on an inhale, back up for warrior one. And over the front leg again, exhaling. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, bend the back knee in and walk it around to the other side. Keep your sliding apparatus handy for your other leg. All right. Leg that's toward the screen is on the sliding apparatus, and that leg's going to pick one of those spokes toward the back half. You turn toward your bent knee, exhale, folding over that leg. Inhale all the way up, arms up, warrior one. Turn sideways, arms out wide, warrior two. Keep breathing, hold right here. On your next inhale, turn back to face the front knee, arms go up for warrior one. Exhale, fold over the front leg, exhale. Inhale back up and bend the back knee, face forward. You stay facing forward. I'm going to show this next one from the side. So when we fold over the leg or legs, one leg or both legs, you want to look down pretty quickly. So you don't want to keep this space here with the chin. So it's not looking down like this. So make sure you're not looking at the screen. You want to look down right away and keep the back neck long. So that's your exhale. Remember, you exhale because you just squish this space where your breath and your lungs are. So exhale. When you come up, feel like you come up from the
where the base of your neck meets, the base of your skull meets your neck. Feel like a helium balloons inflate and pull you up from that space right there. So you stay kind of looking down until you get up. And that keeps your head more aligned with your spine. I'm going to do that again. So let's do it. Let me do it with the arms added. Arms up on the inhale, and then I'm looking down toward the floor between my toes as soon as I can. Exhale. Then balloons inflate at the back of my neck as I come up. And it keeps my head nicely aligned. So just note the difference between that and this one, where most of us do this kind of thing that I want us to break the habit of. We look up, especially Zoom classes, we're looking up at the screen and squishing the back of the neck, and you exhale over. And then maybe finally do put your head down. And then when we come up, you lift the top of the head first, squishing the back of the neck again, and come up. And so that is not good for your neck, and it's not good neck alignment. And by the end of the yoga class, doing that over and over, your neck will be sore. So let's practice that up and down a couple more times with or without the arm movement. So the arm movement can make, sort of like another ball to juggle, too many things happening. So if you're still trying to get this alignment good, just keep your hands maybe just on your thighs or your hips. Inhale, lengthen out through the crown of your head. Look down at the floor and search for the floor between your feet as you go over. Then balloons inflate at the back of the neck and you come up. At the very end, your eyes will come up to neutral. All right, let's do that again. Let's add the arms, if you like, just halfway. Inhale the arms up halfway. Exhale over. Inhale the arms up just halfway. And exhale back down. Now, if that you feel like you were able to keep your neck alignment with the arms added halfway, go for them maybe 3/4 of the way or all the way. Inhaling up as much as you like. Look down, exhale. Drop the arms. Arms are going to come up part way. Inhale, then they come up as much as they want. And you're kept that nice space on the back of the neck. Exhale the arms down. And we'll do that even when we do that little forward over just one leg. So let's turn to the side again. And set your back leg. Here's where we're going to fold over this front leg, keeping that nice head and neck alignment. Exhale here. Inhale the arms up. Exhale over the front leg. Looking down at your foot. Helium at the back of your neck. Inhale, float up, add the arms. Then turning sideways, arms out wide. Good. Let's drop the arms down, one elbow to the thigh, the other hand to the hip, and lean sideways over your front leg. A little lateral here, and you're looking for a stretch through this side waist. You can add the arm if you like. That sometimes deepens the stretch. Put that arm in reverse and come on back up. Raise the arms up for warrior 2. Turning toward your front leg, arms up for warrior 1. We're going to fold over that front leg again. Watch your neck alignment. Look down at your knee and then your toes. Helium balloon at the back of the neck floats your back of your neck up. And bend the back knee and turn to face the other side. All right, set the back leg, any of those spokes, and turn toward your front knee, your bent knee. And let's practice just folding over that leg again with the arms added. Inhale the arms up. Exhale over the front knee. Look down at the knee, then the toes. Over you go. Helium balloon at the back of the neck. Inhale back up. Add the arms. And exhale just the arms down. All right, let's do that one more time. Inhale the arms up. Exhaling, folding over the knee. Helium balloon floats you back up. Inhale, arms up, warrior 1. Turn sideways,
Arms out wide, warrior 2. And flank stretch, drop the arms, one elbow to thigh, other hand to the hip, add that arm up and over as much far over as comfortable for you, and put that arm in reverse. Inhale, float up to warrior 2. Exhale here, turning towards your front leg, arms up for warrior 1. Fold over the front leg, exhaling. Helium balloon floats you up. Add the arms. Exhale the arms down and bend the back knee. And let's face forward again. And we'll add a cat-cow here. All right, and let's, you can bring your slider in under one foot, scoot toward the edge of the chair, and on the inhale, roll that thigh out, roll your knee out, exhale back in, back out again. And my heel is up, so I'm just kind of spinning on the ball of the foot. So the toes are forward, and then when I take my knee out, the foot spins, my toes turn out a little bit. All right. So we're going to add the leg straightening when you take the leg out. So you take your knee out first, and then let the leg go straight. We're going to put a point and flex in there, and then bend the knee back in, all the way, foot all the way back in, and close it up. All right. Let's do that again. Same side, same leg. Turn the leg out, and on the next inhale, stretch the whole leg out towards straight, and fix that foot so just your heel is down in point and flex. And we're going to add a circle here. 2 in one direction, 2 in the other, and then exhale, leg back in, pause here, exhale, close it up. And we're going to go to the other side. I don't know what happened to my other slider. Oh, it's under there. Let's do the other side. Inhale the leg out. Exhale back in. Just a couple more like that. I can get rid of that squeaking. Nope. All right, let's add the whole leg. Leg goes out and the whole leg goes out. Back in and back in. All right, again, inhale the leg out. Inhale the whole leg out. Adjust the foot so the foot is on the slider. Point and flex. Bring it back in. Inhale, and then exhale. And then one more time, inhale. Inhale. Heel is on the slider. Point and flex. Circles. 2 in one direction, 2 in the other. Exhale back in. Inhale here. Exhale, close it up. All right, and let's just let's bring both feet on the sliders. And we'll do both feet at the same time, so you can bring your hands back behind you. You can be on the balls of the feet down or the heels down. My calves are always tight, so I like to put my heels down. All right, and then just relax. All right, let's just take a pause and a little scan. Kind of scan your body head to toe and see what feels the most worked and the least worked. All right. So I think what will work a little bit more, we're going to get into the hips and lower back area. So let's stretch the Actually, let's stretch just, let's start this without the leg stretching. So keep your knees bent, feet under you, hands back behind you, and you're just going to kind of shift to lift one hip up off, make it a little lighter on the chair, maybe even lifting it all the way up, just kind of going side to side. And you can drop that knee down and shift a little bit more, but keep the torso facing forward so you get into the hips a little bit more. Torso stays facing forward, but the hips try to turn to toward the side. All right. And then let's take one leg towards straight and cross the other ankle on top, other foot on top. And the leg that's on top is the hip that's going to lift. So you're going to do the same thing, but let the legs, hips and legs go too. A couple of times to that one side. And then change the cross of your leg. And we'll do a couple of times to the other side. It's a little arm strengthening too. Can you feel that? All right, and you can take the legs all the way straight and stack the feet, one foot on top of the other. And so it's like a kind of like a plank. A couple of times there. Change the stack of your legs so the other leg is on top. The dog is doing some stretches too. Yeah. All right, and then back to neutral. All right, that got in there a little bit. That part of the body gets a little harder to do in a chair. So just make do and do as best we can, right? All right, so the fingers feel like they need a little work, and maybe the toes too. Let's go down to the toes. So if you don't have your shoes and socks on, this will work better. Curl your toes under and slide your toes back toward being underneath the chair, and then rock your heels out and in. Just kind of stretching across the base of the toes there where they connect into the ball of the foot. All right, and then walk your feet out and curl your toes forward, stretching the toes the other way, and put the toes down on the floor, stretching across the top of the ankle. Slide the feet back. We're going to take the toes under so the top of the toe is on the floor, and rock your heel side to side. So this is stretching across the top of the toes, top of the ankle, the whole top of the foot. So where your foot is, where it's tight is where you feel it. Some people feel this up in the ankle, some people feel this down in the toes, and some people somewhere in between. All right, and then just relax. All right, we got the toes. Let's come to the fingers. So most of the time our fingers are sort of holding things or grasping or gripping things. And so they don't stretch backwards the other way. So let's place the palms down and just lift the fingers up. Only the fingers lifting, not the palm. All 4 fingers, and add the thumbs too. And then keep one hand there. Take your other hand to use your fingers to deepen the stretch. So you're going to drop the other fingers except the one you're pulling back. And so I pulled my pinky back, dropped my others. Now I'm pulling my ring, releasing that, middle finger, releasing that, index finger, and I'll go to the other side. Pinky gets stretched backwards, ring finger, middle finger, index finger. And then we can do that with the hands touching. So bring the palms together, but keep the finger, the length of the finger together, and pull the heel of the hand out away from each other. And you can just kind of rock across from the pinky to the index finger, just stretch those. And let me get closer so you can see this better. So that one was the palms together, keep the fingers together and pull the palms apart, and then pressing back and forth. So as I press this hand, this is my non-dominant hand, and that can stretch deeper. This hand barely can get to 90 degrees. The more you work with your hands, or the tighter your hands are, Your stretch may look more like that, and that's fine, or even less. So uh, just get the stretch, your stretch for you. And usually your non-dominant side is not as, we don't work the muscles as much, so you can get that to stretch a little deeper. All right, and then just wiggle those fingers around. It's Curry making that noise. All right. And then let's go back to cat-cows here and just relax the neck down. So not your deepest stretching, just nice and gentle and less and less. So less movement in one direction, less movement in the other until it barely looks like you're moving. And then just pause at center. Let's come back to the breath and notice the breath pattern that your body is doing now. I'll take a new breath pattern and just say 3 to 5 breaths in your new breath pattern. Pick any breath pattern that's different from what you're doing right now. All right, and then you can stay sitting upright, not into the chair back if you like. If your body's fatigued or when it gets fatigued, just lean back into the chair back. Let's start relaxing the body from the top of the head down toward the feet. That's a more grounding way to release and relax. So just bring awareness to the very top of your head and the entire scalp. Now, some people carry scalp tension, so see if you can soften and release your scalp down into the temples and all the way down to the base of the skull. And then release across the forehead. And again into the temples. And down the bridge of the nose and across and out to the cheeks. And go all the way over into the ears, all around the ears. And into the jaw, the hinge of the jaw, soften it. Release the jaw and the tongue. Release down the neck and throat. Down the shoulders and into the arms and fingers. And from the shoulders down the front of the torso and the back of the torso and the sides of the torso. And just one more time around the waistline area, which is part of the torso, but sometimes folks think when I say torso, they just do the sort of the rib cage area. So we'll make sure we cover the waistline, the belly, into the pelvis and hips. hips to the knees, all around the knees, down the lower legs, and both feet. And then just take a quick scan and see if there's one more place that you could just spend an extra breath or two releasing. You get any more relaxed anywhere. And then you can deepen your breath. Slowly bring some movement to your body. And as you're ready, open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you.